to Nexus Challengers League. Today, matches is going to be Novax versus Locteeen. These are first matches for both of these teams. Excited to see them. What about you, Nono?
Yeah, I'm excited to see these two teams play their first match in the opening their opening match of their group.
Yeah, this is Group
B, I believe.
B. Sticky. Nope, we're Group C. We're Group C. I
Yeah, what are you
lied.
putting for
Brother,
the
I'm gonna
key?
be honest. I have the
Mine
player
says
client
they're
open
Group
just like
B,
the
but
YouTube video.
that might be on a older
Absolutely.
thing, so that's my bad.
I mean, I think especially with the format of this tournament, every one of these games matters a lot to these teams. You know, you win this one, you're going to the next match against whoever won the other one, and then you're just straight into playoffs. You've got maybe 2 matches in the group before you are just thrust in.
Yeah, and with champs format, like making that playoffs on a high note can really give you that mental boost you need to really carry you through those 3 upper bracket matches before you're in playoffs. It seems like a long tournament if you're looking at the bracket from the outside, but for each of these teams, you're really only playing maybe 5 or 6 matches throughout groups and playoffs if you're winning your games. So
Yeah,
it
you
seems
know,
like
five
it seems
or
a
6
lot
matches if
longer.
you just go. 5 or 6 matches if you're just winning.
Yeah. Seems a lot longer when you're looking at the whole bracket. But yeah, for each of these teams, it's not a long path to make it, and it's also not a long path to be eliminated. So you have to make sure you're on top of your game in every one of these games.
Yeah. Now, you know, as the wealth of knowledge I am, I can speak to one of these players' skill, and that is Optics, or also he's Itachi in game. So if you're just calling him Optics on stream, just know that's who we're referring to. Optics is like kind of a fire player. I am excited to see him play. I've casted this guy before. I've also played with him before, so I am very excited to see him play. Now, looks like he might have some tech errors.
Call this VCT EMEA the way we have tech pauses 2 seconds in.
EMEA. I'm calling Pacific, but okay.
Both of them. I don't know if you've been in the EMEA stream these last couple of days. That Carmine Core foot game went an extra like 2 hours. While we're on the subject of names, TSPMO is going to be referred to as Havoc throughout this match.
Oh, yep, that one too.
Just want to make sure that that's cleared up for all our viewers at home.
Yeah. Though, before we got the disconnect there, I don't know if stream got to see it. I did see Optics or Tachi hovering Reina. I saw a Reina hover.
Yes, Havoc also hovering the Neon, so we're either going to see... That was either the troll Reina hover, or we're going to see some crazy double duelist action from from Nova here.
I mean, I think with the meta right now, you know, you've always got either some sort of, you know, double initiator or some sort of double duelist. You know, double controller is really falling off. And I think it's always really exciting, especially with the current meta. You've got a lot more double initiator than double duelist when you see that double duelist, because you know you're about to have an action-packed game.
Yeah. So, barring more tech pauses, I believe we are going to be heading into what is the map pick of Nova, if I'm not mistaken. Looking to confirm right now.
Not sure. I don't think we got a full map pick and ban screen.
Is. Okay, so yes, it is Nova picks Haven.
Nova pick. Okay, then this is a bit of a must-win. You know, you have to show you're good on your map pick. Seeing the real comps, though, you see Itachi now, or sorry, Optics now hovering that Reina instead. Tejo and Neon on one side, Jet and Sova and Breach on the other side. Obviously, the Cypher Omen default for both. And I think that'll be our agents right there.
This is looking like a pretty mirror match comp here with just the Neon for the Jet and this Teo versus Sova. So a bit of differences between these scan initiators and these duelists, but other than that, these are looking like fairly similar comps. So unlike the last Haven game I casted, we're not going to be seeing that ISO Yoru comp that Fnatic.
ISO Yoru? I need to catch up on my VODs for this tournament.
If I'm not mistaken, it was It was one of the Revenants against whatever match they played. I've forgotten. I'm not the best rememberer. It was Revenants, though, I believe.
I think this comp on Haven, both these comps on Haven, these are the true two defaults of the meta right now. It's always either that Neon Tejo or that Jet Sova.
Yes, we're seeing a bit more of the 2023 meta coming through here from Locteeen running the Breach and the Sova, whereas the bit more of the 2024 and early 2025 meta with the Teo and Neon coming through from Nova.
Absolutely. Novax just getting this match. Gonna see a bit of a default out from them. Neon, though, quickly taking space down. Stun out.
Stun will take this fight, lose it out. Manimal waiting for that stun to actually stop having an effect before the swing. And Itachi looking to get the trade, but gets dinked and has to fall off without getting the pick. And Daku will find Toshi in his fast B retake. Nabo equalizing, but will actually, Coleman will take out Cypher. So, yeah, Optics. Sorry. Well, ooh, dodges a shock guard actually. 1v2. Needs the ace to clutch. Gets the fourth. Sticking. Half.
Rise to sticking.
Taps it. Made the step though, so they know he's not on.
Oh!
Bullets in the clip, and he will land the ace.
What an ace to kick off the game. And bit of a silly situation we found ourselves in there. Back and forth through the smokes, but Naba, regardless, beautiful positioning and gonna find that pick. And that is a huge first round. I mean, especially when you're starting off that way, that's just a great way to build momentum going into the rest of this game.
Big confidence boost for Locteeen there. Or for Nova, excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. Locteeen gotta be feeling a bit of pain on that one. I mean, you had him down to the 3v1. However, this is gonna see a 4-stack on A.
Yes, this just looks to be a fast site hit. Don't want to be forcing mid or B against what they probably have read as a mid push. Although, quiet stacking from Locteeen, although it does not appear to be working very well. 2 picks are found. So those will be 2 guns lost. But
wow, yeah.
In the end, a rather clean round for Nova.
Yeah, match gone in an instant there. The round was just over. However, I mean, a bit of an upside for the side of Locteeen. You do have 2 guns down. You know, going into this buy, expecting a win here.
Yes, not quite as dangerous a buy as it could have been. And for Nova here, they are very close to that from the shadows for Nabo. When you're farming ults, especially on the attack side, the Omen ult's not really one you think of as being an important ult, but we might be able to see it put into use this round if they grab the orb.
Absolutely, could be useful. You know, double stack outside of A. And they're looking to just fight this. Neon racing forward. It's gonna be stunned.
Will
hold.
Out.
And
Stun. Traded back and forth, but it doesn't look like a kill will be found. And with only 3 players towards the Rai goes down to the Teo salvos, so maybe we will see. But it looks like they're actually gonna back up. I was about to say before that kill came through that with only 3 people towards the A with these 2 lurkers, you might look to rotate, and I think rotating off that kill is pretty big, because if you're Nova here, you're probably expecting those rotates for Locteeen to come through. However, with that being said, it does seem like they are reading this rotation pretty well, not over-rotating towards A. Nobody on the C site to punish off this trip or to really, you know, hold this site, but they could poise for a pretty fast rotate. They do have 2 players relatively nearby.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be taking the free site. Locteeen playing that 4v5, I mean, it's going to be a struggle. However, Coleman instantly going to get the Cypher diff onto Optics there. I know, you got a post fight.
Yeah, equal guns now, or equal guns in favor of Locteeen though, so. Oh, wow. Picks going back and forth. Both breaches finding one. As Manimal will swing out, getting 1, getting 2, maybe even getting the 3rd, as he trades out Yorufan to close out this round. And so both Omens will get their ults online. we're about to see some more ults online as well. These ult economies are just about coming online here.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any major prioritization from either team. Locteeen, though, necessary round there. It was looking iffy for a second after you got that dink and kill onto the Sova. You know, you start having the doubts about, oh, are they gonna win this round? Playing it out, though. Definitely necessary
Although,
for them.
if you're Nova, you're pretty happy with that. Killing 3 means that Coleman, Yorufan, and Rai are all gonna be able to... are not gonna be able to afford rifles here, so... a pretty iffy buy from them. Have to hope that your 2 players on site here with the Deal and the Ghost can get damage off these trips.
Yeah, if he buy definitely the hit's gonna come through. Huge aftershock to backside. Neon, this is your cop on the trip here.
And taken down, so that's man advantage now garnered for Locteeen, but with the vast gun advantage and this from the shadows from Manimal going right behind, not reacted to, finds the second pick. And
yeah, now you're in this 3v5, you're surrounded.
Dead.
This is not looking good, however, Optics finding the one.
Takes off, going even big Bucky kill. Big 2 Bucky kills, and with that, the retake is just come through. Round 1 for Locteeen. Too many players flooding in through CT and Heaven, not quite able to focus on every single person, so just the dash out there of Heaven from Yorufan, able to catch onto 2 with that Bucky and putting that normally weaker weapon to pretty good use there, able to finish that retake and secure the round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Manimal really honestly won them that round with the Omen ults, which I believe he popped a good on the flank. You know, when you're surrounded like that, it does become really difficult to hold, especially when you're down the numbers. You know, he got him down to a 3v5, and then you're just surrounded. Almost an unwinnable situation when you're like that.
Yeah. Also, a big read on these trips by Ian there. Able to recognize where that long trip was going to be placed, that missile, but looks like Coleman was able to pick it up before the salvo was destroyed, so he will redeploy that towards site.
Yeah, but look at this over on B. Manimal and the Neon on the enemy side. Havoc. The tension is real here. Looking to take the fight. I think Neon suspects. They're trying to break the second trip. And Manimal's gonna get both!
Up for Manimal. Able to get 2 and trip not broken. So, that putting Nova here on a pretty big disadvantage into this round.
Yeah, again.
Down players and
impact.
still down guns. 2 Guardians and a Bulldog. So, opting for the half buy into this round and, well, not able to quite find value out of it. However, they will be able to find this A site. I am unsure as to whether or not Optics is going to over-aggress here into this angle. Finds the dink onto Yorufan, but that's about it. So, not much more damage. Yorufan, even on 35 HP, able to find one onto Ian, and a second onto Itachi, so 1v4 from up on the box, spotted out immediately and taken care of.
Yeah, there's another slow round there from the side of Novax. I mean, they were pressed for time and they ended up just getting picked off, which I think something, you know, Locteeen has been doing a really good job of doing is getting these early picks and putting them in disadvantaged situations. So by the time you're actually on that A site, you're in a 3v5 and you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, these Omens have just been going back and forth, both over 2.0 KDA, so going band for band, I guess, in KD.
Put it that way.
Yeah. Going back to these old cycles I was talking about a couple of rounds ago, we do have the Hunter's Fury and 2 off the Rolling Thunder for the side of Locteeen. And on Nova, Rolling Thunder, Armageddon from the Shadows, and Neural Threat. So 4 ults online. Speaking of which, there goes the Rolling Thunder. Not actually going to catch anyone, as Coleman wisely playing off site to avoid. And the plant will just come in, unless Hunter's Fury will...
It's gonna delay, but that's not gonna stop.
Gonna delay, but not quite catch on... Oh, okay, 1 tag on the Navo, so Omen
Again.
down to 45 HP.
Oh,
Doctor
Havoc
comes
flank.
in and actually, he's sniping people with it. It's like he's average Jonas. Crazy kill on Nabo. So now a 5v4 retake. Nope, 4v3. Kills going back and forth. Optics and Havoc each able to find one. Man advantage, evened out. These players doubling up Garage with this bomb plan. Not quite expected. Probably thinking playing long, especially with this long smoke. But this neural theft is going to help. Stun comes through. Info onto both of these players, but Toshi might be able to find one, but he whiffs from behind. And, well, the kills just go the way of Locteeen. So, another retake for them.
That was such a strange round out from Novax. I mean, they had the site. They had almost a perfect post plan. You know, you got the Teo as well, and they chose to keep playing on site. They didn't back up the main even after planning for it, and I think that just gave Locteeen the opportunity to take it for free, especially with the util they have. I think it's just a bit of a misplay from them after getting the free site, especially when you have the free site. You don't expend as much util. It's left me a little lost, wondering what the plan was there.
Yeah. And I don't dislike the double up Garage there, but that wrap just whiffing. And Yorufan will open up an early pick here onto Havoc. So a force from Nova already blunting the head of that spear. So updraft
Yeah,
here
he's gonna-
from Yorufan gets punished actually. So even now. But pushing B into this Rolling Thunder from Daka. We'll see how this goes. Well, I say pushing B, but actually, it does look like they're going to back up a bit. Rai will be able to re-clear the B site with this drone, so they will have info that the push is not coming in B. And, well, depending on the timing they can catch on Coleman's cam here, they might be able to get pretty far onto A before they encounter either of these trips. So doesn't seem okay. Cam does spot 2, so they will take site here, and the retake will be prepared. However, the Rolling Thunder, while still rotating through spawn, is gonna be a big retake tool here for Locteeen. So if Nabo is playing short. And they're going to double up short, one on site. And they're playing heavy post playing here, actually. With this Armageddon. One down, fight.
See what you should be doing with the Tejo. He's gonna find this pick, no, but the time was stalled. Has missiles ready too here. I don't know.
The missile's going to land inside. Ian picks up both, but the missiles just a bit too late on the burst. Diffuse goes through.
He's not gonna get it. That's a bit of a fumble in the Tejo play. I think you usually have to pop your missiles midway through the ult, because if you saw what the enemy Cypher did there, is he just went around the missiles and then started defusing as the ult was still popping. It just made the missiles too late. That's a bit of a fundamental misplay.
That short fight just going unfortunate. I called out Nabo's positioning in short because from my perspective it actually did look like he was lurking B, but just doubling up short and losing that fight kind of cost them the round. Just Armageddon not quite able to stall for long enough for the missiles and the swing. Into this round, looks like we are seeing a bit of a Garage split. Another force buy with the overdrive from Havoc. So definitely still a bit of bite to this buy. But running into the Cypher trip, not sure if they're going to be able to deal with this with those missiles. Although, looks to connect. Stun and overdrive both coming through. Coleman actually caught in the stun, will get taken down. Manimal finds the lurk onto Optics though. So 4v4, and thankfully Havoc able to recover a gun, so he will not be, with that overdrive wearing off, will not be gunless. Manimal actually going for a long flank as this garage space gets filled by Havoc, but he loses the fight. So now all three of these players stuck on an island on site, getting flanked and crunched with a lot of this breach util. Although Nabo able to find 3 to equalize, 4th even for Nabo, as he is the hero that Nova need to to secure that round against that retake.
Absolutely. I think finally you're seeing Novax. They did what they should have been doing this whole game, especially with their comp. They went fast. They didn't wait. They didn't play slow. They didn't have multiple people in multiple places. They played to their comp's advantage, which is honestly a really good fucking hit. You know, you can easily play main after you've done that hit as well. Going into the next tier, Eco is going to be a little broken for the side of Locteeen, and it's iffy at best. Gonna have a couple rifles to force up, but and again, it's another one of these really slow rounds out from Novax. I don't like to see this. They're never winning these duels, and just as I say that, Yorufen gonna get the pick onto Optics there.
Yeah, and actually, despite winning 5 rounds in a row, they've all been fairly close, so that's why you're still seeing this half buy come out for Locteeen, because they have just not been able to win these rounds clearly. With that said, man advantage they do have. There are 2 players on flank, and I'm not actually sure if Nabo knows about this. In fact, he might even get caught off guard on flank here by Rai, but he is able to win out that fight. However, Manimal able to find 2 on the flank, supported. Stunned up is Havoc, and he will get taken down. 1v2 now, and Nabo has to start booking it over, and not even really gonna make a play. He's going slowly, and just spam is countered really well by Manimal. Huge run by Manimal there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Sheriff shots just, they're true, and they, you know, they've been true the whole game for Manimal. 13-7 on the board right now, matching Nabo on the enemy team, who's 13-6. It's been a beautiful game, almost a masterclass out from both Omens.
Yeah, it just, Nabo caught a little too far in that lurk after Optics goes down first. He has to be holding down that flank, and I think he just got a timing caught on him with Yorufan and Manimal able to walk up there, but with him being so far away, he was just not quite able to get close enough to be comfortable. Still two full buys being afforded, but this is a huge Hunter's Fury. Gonna catch on to 2 players. Rai taking down both Optics and Nabo. Toshi able to find one back, but he's still gonna be tagged up quite low. And Ian also taking a bit of damage, so both of these players fairly low. This shock dart could kill either of them, and neither actually connecting well enough to get that kill, but a total of 34 HP between the 2 players, so not much to work with here. Well, and now it's just a total of 4. So Ian has the bomb, that's the one positive, but no space to work with. No space to work with, no money left in the bank after this one, so looks like he's just going to save and spawn. Some of the Daka has cash, but the rest of these Locteeen players are not terribly wealthy, so we might just be able to see him save, and hopefully they're able to use this time to work out a plan for next round, because they need to do something fast. That's what we've really been seeing work. These slow rounds have just not really been what Nova need.
No, I mean, it's just going to be a save for me, and I think that's kind of what you have to do in this situation. I think at this point in the game is when you have to start talking about the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
The side of Locteeen has just gone round after round after round, and it's eventually going to wear down on Novax.
Yeah, especially on Nova's map pick on the attack side of Haven. I would not be surprised if a timeout was called here. And on cue. Havoc calling for that timeout. As
I didn't even remember this was the map pick.
Yeah, I don't believe that Nova have coach slotted in right now, so it's all on these players to keep themselves together, and you know, you really have to think of, if Havoc's calling that timeout, he's probably stepping up just to make sure that they're all like in the right mental, because at this point in the game, that mental can make a huge difference. Being down 7-3, you want to make sure that you're resilient, able to bounce back, able to continue to focus on playing the game and not being overcome with emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you never know how seriously this player's really taking this game, but if I'm them, I'm stressed right now. You know, I'm 6 feet down, 7-3 down actually on my map pick. I do not want to get any more down than that. Especially when I'm on the attack side of Haven. I think for Haven, you're generally thinking of it as an attack-sided map, so the defense winning this is not a promising sign.
And both sides here running the double duelist, as we were pointing out. So, regardless of how the map is played overall, with double initiator comps and everything else being even, you want to be winning these attack rounds. That's what the double initiator is for. And I think we've actually seen Locteeen putting this double initiator on defense to good use, because we have seen them go for a lot of retakes with this Breach and Sova build. But I think that Nova need to focus on winning some of these attack rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Nova gonna do an amazing take there. Pushing Cypher out perfectly. He had no chance but to leave. And now, this is where I want to see them play their retake. Or sorry, play their post plant better.
And they have to play together here. Big pick from Optics there, or just outside Garage. And you're gonna see a lot of these Nova players playing together because three of them still on Deagles. And well, guns will be retrievable because Manimal does take 2. Shock Dart gets Toshi quite low, and Nabo's gotta turn around, will get his, and the Rolling Thunder invested just enough to get Coleman. So the trade will go through. Time is gonna run out, even though Doc is able to pull both. Not quite enough time left. So good stall from Nova to be able to pull that round out of the bag and win a half buy. And they should be able to buy full rifles this round. So if they think they have a read here, they might be able to keep exploiting that and take this half up to 7-5.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into the next one, it looks again like they're going to be trying to do one of their full hits, the things they should be doing with their comp. Yeah. Again, I want to highlight the Omen players again. They're both up to 15 kills. I mean, these players have been matching each other, Nabal and Manimal, at every single turn.
Aggressive play here on C, actually, from Locteeen is what it looks like. Both initiators, the smokes, and the duelist all set up towards this C site, but it just looks like they're going to be inserting Manimal and leaving Yorufan to opt this, while most of Nova is pushing towards A, towards this Cypher with these Heaven spam trips. Although it looks like they have the read, because Daka is making his way over. 2 points off the Rolling Thunder. We might see that invested. And the From the Shadows will be broken by Coleman in Heaven. So they have some info onto this Cypher. But this Heaven smoke is actually going to miss, so he'll have a gap. And Nabo, I think, probably saw him through that gap, able to get a really nice shot on him. So 4v5 retake now needing to be played, and Manimal's going to be really far away, having to go all the way through spawn right now. Rai is able to catch one on Nabo, who's really enjoyed playing on that back box thus far. Able to equalize this retake a little bit. Manimal will TP past the trip, unable to be heard by Nova players, who are all playing much closer towards site. Double up in hell. Good spam by Manimal on the first. Will smoke the bomb and TP into it. No, not quite. Optics will catch him just before he's able to do so and secure this 7-5 half. So timeout looking like it was pretty good, but we'll see how that success carries over into their defensive half.
Yeah, I mean, you do want to hope it is at this point in Haven. 7-5 is redeemable, especially with the pistol. But this is going to be the most important round for the side of Nova.
I highlighted this last time I casted because we saw a series with, I believe, 3 consecutive force buys after pistol rounds. That this pistol is important, but I believe the bonus is actually even more so, because even if Locteeen win this pistol, if they lose the bonus, that sets up a string of rounds for Nova to get back in this game. With that said, it is always nice to win the pistol because it's an extra round. So winning rounds is losing rounds is never the strategy, but
yeah, I think pistol's most valuable just because of the bonus round you have after.
Yeah,
I think. Oh, I do kind of like what I'm seeing here. They're coming from the side of Locteeen. They're playing this comp slow, kind of how it should be played. They've got a lot of space up on the map, though.
Havoc had walked up most of the way A main, but seems to have given that space back up jiggling. I don't know if he realized there was the drift there because he didn't walk up to break it. Although if he re-aggresses, he may find it. But the C and garage space here really being taken right now by Locteeen, looking like they're going to push out towards C here. And Yorufan actually going to get caught in the side by Optics. As now Daka left a bit on an island with bomb here. Toshi going to give up the long hold, so Daka is going to be able to jump back to safety with that spike. B site is taken, but it's going to be at least 5 more seconds before bomb gets over. Not that that's going to matter, because Coleman and Rye are able to take so much space and so many kills up into the C-Link area, but Nabal's able to take both of them out. So guns and people are even, but health is slightly on the side of Locteeen here. So Locteeen with a slight advantage. Also being able to choose their post-plan advantage positions, sorry, knowing where Nova are going to come in through, so...
Yeah, I'm just going to retake. It's going to be difficult. I mean, you've got the breach on the enemy side. Second you tap that spike, the stun's going to come out. Looks like he's already prepping it too.
Flash and Omen Blind. Damage now onto Manimal, so health a bit more evened out. That Paranoia is going to come out and I believe catch both. And the stun also used. But, oh, the flash connects! Not able to get the first. Nabo living, narrow margin. 10 health is all that's going to be needed, though, to carry this round through. 19 and 9 is Nabo right now. Absolutely frying. And honestly, the hero of both of these pistol rounds so far for Nova.
And just a bullet away from death on the side of Nabo. That, and you know, it's gonna be huge going forward for Nova. Sorry, Locteeen, I believe. Because shit, I got my teams mixed up. That's gonna be huge for Nova X. Sorry, going into the future, because that's the pistol. That's what they need to continue winning this game, to continue their streak.
A lot of util actually sent out here towards the A site. These salvos. Trying to clear this space, but no one actually going to be there on the receiving end, as looks like Locteen's game plan here is just to try to take this garage and force it into C. So they are waiting out this cam, trying to take a timing on it, I believe. But sooner or later, they are going to have to go. They break the cam. The cam did see the breach, though, so they are going to know the site is the one that's going to be hit. And Coleman actually able to find the first onto Optics there, so guns are retrieved and thrown away. And Manimal able to find one, but he will get traded out. So 3v4 retake, but guns heavily in their favor. No real gun available to be picked up, and the kills are just gonna start flooding for. Oh, actually got a bit close. I was gonna say kills are flooding for Nova here, but only one real surviving member, and he's only going to be able to pick up this Guardian, so no guns saved compared to what was bought. Like, this one Outlaw, sorry, I believe, will get picked up, but the Guardian, and I believe it was 3 Spectres, are not going to be able to be saved here. So, just like the last bonus, Locteeen able to make that quite expensive.
Yeah, and that is really good for Locteeen. I mean, you're now up to 7-7, but you're going into this round with full rifles, whereas the enemy team has what? Outlaw, a Stinger, and a couple pistols? It should be a pretty free round for them.
I would also like to point out that Locteeen able to get bombed on means that 4 of these members are going to have heavy shields against this Outlaw, so Rye really the only one who has to worry about swinging into it, and that shouldn't be as big of a threat now, I would think, against 4 full armor players, unless some nasty one-taps get hit. And just as I'm talking about Rye being the only one that's one-shot, he will be wallbanged straight through there, so unfortunate. No other players tagged up, though, for Locteeen, so they will all be able to swing this Outlaw and live if they get hit once. Stun coming out to persuade him off the angle.
Yeah,
and he will just cede sight, so Rolling Thunder here coming out actually as well. not going to connect onto anybody, but it will guarantee them the free sight. And Manimal and Coleman both able to find... Coleman finds a spam kill. Manimal finds one on the flank. So 4v2 now. Stinger and an Outlaw. Just looking for eco chip damage at this point, I would imagine.
Yeah, oh,
One found.
You're gonna find the one. And now it's just up to Havoc here, and you know he's only got the Outlaw and the Sheriff. We take notoriously hard with the Outlaw, but if anyone can do it, it might just be this guy. Might not be having the impact consistently of Naba, but he has had these couple rounds where he's gone off. However,
Low,
the Manimal,
looks like he
look
will
at him.
try to save,
Yeah,
but he's not
look
going to
at that.
realize Manimal's behind him. So, only one gun lost, as they should be able to rebuy into this round. And we will see the first rifle round of this half for both teams. So, we'll see how, now with full rifles, full utility, both these teams try to play these retakes and sight hits.
Yeah, coming in the next one, I am interested to see the approach from Locteeen. We haven't really seen a lot of how they're going to play this attack half. A lot of it's just been the pistol, you know, the eco, always the rounds where you're going to throw out that weird stuff. And I think so far, though, we have seen this very spread out style, this defaulty style. What I do want to see from the side of Nova is maybe taking space somewhere. They've been losing these rounds because, well, you know, Locteeen just has less map control, and Nova doesn't have any of it.
Yeah. And Locteeen have a pretty good idea on how to play this map. They lost pistol by 10 health, and then that bonus they only lost by, you know, one person. It was a very close bonus for coming in with just pistols. So with rifles here, I'd imagine, barring another crazy round from Nabo, of which he's had a few, that the attack half of this map is looking fairly controlled by Locteeen, despite us only being 4 rounds in. With that said, hero plays have been working so far for Nova, so you don't want to count them out because this being the 4th round, they are still 2-1 on this half. So
look at the read here from Locteeen. They baited out all these players to come to C and B, and now it's just the Cypher alone on A. They're gonna gear up for the hit now.
30 seconds left.
Could be popping at any second.
5 players versus 1.
It's just optics on the site.
Yeah, he
But he's
needs to
stunned
pull
up.
up
He's collective.
heroics here. And he'll get one. Team
By the
blind coming through,
seconds.
gets him a second here. So 3 versus 4 retake if you're Locteeen. So
Exactly.
I said they needed some heroics, and well, they definitely got an extra player there.
Oh, what a
Ooh.
shutdown.
Sprinting in, I didn't see any util. I could be mistaken, but it did look like he went there alone. Ian's missiles will find one, and his gun will find a second as Nabo claims one from heaven. So the retake coming through pretty smoothly. Looks like they are on the same page with Locteeen on how to play this defense. Just letting them take sight and playing a really nice retake. So I'm not sure if Manimal was blind there or if he thought he had a teleport, but he just sat in that molly on 1 HP, just took it. So I wonder.
Yeah,
I
abilities
wonder
don't
if
come
he was
Project
scared to
A,
swing but the beautiful retake there from Nova. That's exactly what you want to see to restore some faith in this defense half, because like I said, a lot of these rounds have been close, and that looked dominant. That I was talking about at the beginning of that round. Now that they have full util, how they're going to play, and that looked how they wanted to play it. So we're going to see Locteeen going for a 4-man push C long. Looks like Sova setting up a lineup here for the trip, with the one Cypher lurking through garage. But because of this stack, the players for Nova are going to be able to take a bit of this A space. So flank may come through. Optics finding one, traded out by Manimal, and Coleman and Toshi are also going to find one each. So it is 3 versus 3. However, retake has stalled, so all 3 of these players for Nova able to regroup, and bit of an overpeak there from Yorufe. No real util to support that, so he just gets caught out. 0 use. Both of these players now suppressed, and well, you almost question the use of the Armageddon in the 2v1 here. Manimal will be able to pick up the first, but not quite able to see how far out Havoc got, and so again, retake from Nova, looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I actually kind of like the fact that they chose to commit the tail ult there. If you look at the scoreboard right now, Manimal is 24-14. This is not a guy you want to take risks against in a 2v1. You're gonna go into a short P10 here. Bit of a lag
Actually,
issues.
looks like the problem was solved ahead of.
Oh, already?
So,
Dang, okay. We're chilling.
maybe just like an extra Chrome tab open, eating up some RAM. You just close that. And you're good.
Yeah.
Will look like some fast A presence out here from Locteeen. 3, maybe even 4 players walking up long. So if Havoc chooses to stay, he might be in for a nasty surprise, but plays it wisely and backs up.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna be maybe trying to take these fights down short instead. Teo's ready and waiting on the A site though. He's got the opportunity to bomb that, stall them even more. An issue I have with Locteeen is they're playing this kind of slow, and I feel that some of these rounds are gonna start running out of time, especially with the stally style that Novax is gonna have.
Yeah, well, and they're stalling out right now. Locteeen are stalling out, and they've tipped their hand. So they're trying to maybe cut noise and bluff a little bit, but they already know what you have. You're not gonna be able to pull anything here, because, well, I say that, but 3 of these players from Nova have actually rotated off. So until util comes through, it's gonna be a 2v5 on site. Full blinded is Ian, so Eurofan able to take on Havoc, and Ian left on an island, isolated, surrounded by hungry sharks who devour him pretty quickly, and 3v5 retake. Gun advantage still for Nova here.
Yeah, this was just a great site execute from the side of Locteeen. They've been really good at this. Looks like they definitely have a deep playbook cooked up. You know, the silver darts, the breach times, all timed perfectly.
Eurofan will find his second of the round. Nabo able to get one back. Looks like they will be fully investing into this. Eurofan gets 3, and Daku will secure the round. So tied up at 9 now. Really good noise cut actually there. Baited out more rotates than I thought it was going to. So my bad for doubting, but able to punish those over rotations and just catch the 2 players alone on site. And after the first fell, Havoc was just not really able to do anything. Or Ian, sorry, after Havoc fell.
Just getting roamed on site. I think it's the story of how Locteeen wants to play their attack side is get up, get your side execute ready, and then pop it.
Yeah, well, that is how you should be playing these double initiator comps. Rolling Thunder now online with that orb grab on C, so any site that they can, all of these sites on Haven are pretty much squares if you think about them simply enough. So this Rolling Thunder will be pretty useful regardless of the site they hit. So we'll see where they try to take this. It looks like they're going to be re-clearing this A space, maybe gearing up for another A hit, thinking that their A has been the more successful of their 3 sites.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we see the similar approach. This time, though, you do see Coleman on the lurk of B, ready to catch one if you can.
He's going to hear this Teo drone, so they're going to know that there's not really a heavy stack towards A, because Teos have mostly been playing with the stack. 4 people already geared up for this retake. With this light buy, they're probably just going to try to flood with a bunch of util here, so you're not really going to be wanting to take aim duels. Coleman will find one on the lurk, and then just stay towards B here, so he might even find more if he continues to swing here. With these people, he finds a second, and he's just really being a thorn in their side, finding a third. Well, and with 2 people left, he is on for this ace, but these 2 players from Nova are not going to give it to him. They're pushing into the site, into the 2 remaining people. Although, he will find the 4th, but Havoc puts it into it with his second of the round. Reverse ace? He has 2, and there's 3 still alive.
No time for
Think
that.
145. Even if there was time, he will actually bait 2 into dying, so they're gonna have to buy up a decent amount of guns here. Economy is healthy, but some of these players
Yeah, Operator on Havoc here. Oh, I am interested to see how they're going to end up playing this. For the side, Nova. Now, you do need to start seeing the adjustments. How do we want to fix our game so that these slow walk-ups and these hits are not going to work? And I think what they need to do, especially with the comp they have, is they need to try and take jump peaks. Find some way to take info. When you have the tail breach, that's something you're often lacking. And I think this tail drone has been committed in a lot of places it just shouldn't be.
Yeah, reclearing mid there when you're not able to see into heaven is a bit of a blunder in my opinion. Allowing Coleman to just kind of walk up behind you and find 3 there. Really secure that round.
I think these rounds are coming... Oh, good.
I was going to say, with that said, the mid control this round is better with this op kind of holding this line. So they're going to have garage clear, and a lot of these Locteeen players, like we've been pointing out, they're playing this slowly. So this op hold is going to give them a lot of information that the hit's not going to come in B, and that means that there's a bit less pressure on these A and C players to worry about flank. If they see a player, they can just call for rotates because they know mid is clear. So we'll see if Ian's able to spot some of these players with this jump peek, and they're immediately going to realize where the hit's coming in.
That's what you need. You can call rotates a little bit earlier. Even just that second of time can often, win you the round. However, going into this week take your duelist, the tip of your spear, you could say, it's going to be going with an AWP. It's not going to be an easy situation.
I wonder if we'll see something that many teams... Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see a lot of teams, what a lot of teams do, and just switch this op to somebody else, and it looks like, yes, the op will go to Toshi. With this Rolling Thunder invested, will connect only onto 1, and with no smoke for long, there's just going to be support for this one player on site who's been hit until Nabo comes in, securing 2. Toshi, with this op, may be able to find another. Long is smoked, but with this Hunter's Fury and the dart coming through, the post-plant util will just be better than the smoke can handle. So, really nice realization that the Rolling Thunder was online, only leaving 1 player on site and just being able to help him out. And Daka, even though gets caught, is able to kind of bait for his team there so that they can pick up players from on.
Yeah, Locteen's starting to separate themselves in terms of score. Manimal up to 26 and Habo. Again, these Omens up 23 and 15. Both kind of going off. Bit of the carries for the team. I think what we really need to see from the side of Novax is that Neon step up. That's the tip of your spear, and she needs to be getting more frags. Secure these rounds a little better for the team.
Yes, I'd agree. With this Cypher util just kind of getting ignored, dashed over and fought through, so the trip just going to get broken, and Sight going to be given up. Eurofan is going to be 1 HP to some of these deagles, so damage done, but with the picks going through for Locteeen, there's not much asked for outside of a couple eco frags, as these players just get ground up. A Phantom on Nabo, able to find 1. Might be able to get out here. He knows where both players are. Trying to switch the weaponry around. I don't know if he realizes that all his teammates had deagles. So TP's forward, but he's really out of time here. He's going to die to bomb if he doesn't just save. So he's going to go for these kills, but just stuck short and able to bait Daka into dying here. But when you're against a team that's just reached 12, I don't know if baiting for 1 or 2 kills is really the play. I think you gotta be trying to win that round, maybe go a bit faster. He stalled out for a hot minute in CT there.
Yeah, I think what Locteen's been doing good is these almost unanimous takes. They're so well timed, and it seems like they've drilled them, tens of times for this map. Maybe this map in particular, but definitely looking to take Novax's map pick here. We are going to be going into a short P10, hopefully not too long. I think it's issues on the side of Ian over there.
And we were seeing, I believe, a couple rounds ago, last time they were having lagging issues, it was also Ian. So I believe that It's probably just a recurring issue. Maybe the Chrome tab wasn't actually what was causing the issue, so restarting the PC. And
Might not have been the Chrome tab.
hopefully we'll be back soon. Now Locteeen are on 12 on Nova's map pick. So if they're able to win, that's a big mental booster, winning their opponent's map pick. And also, it will help them be up a map in the series, you know? That's good to win your opponent's map pick, because then you go into your home turf and you're feeling confident.
Yeah, don't know what map we're going into next. Something I do want to point out is Locteeen, along with playing this with slow methodic style, have been playing the ult economy to near perfection. You know, they've been integrating these ults into their hits really well as well.
Yes. I believe the next map is Split, picked by Locteeen, and then the decider is Icebox.
Yeah, Split is definitely a hit-heavy map. I do see why Locteeen is going to play on there. Interested to see how they are going to approach the defense. They weren't reacting great to the hits. I think they might just end up playing retakes heavily on Split map.
Yeah, and we saw it during 2024, the last time Split was really getting played a lot. I know it's been played a decent amount during 2025, but the retake meta in 2024 was very heavy for the teams that were really good at Split. With, I believe it was Sentinels who were the #1 Split team for a while, and they were really good at those retakes. So I'm wondering if that's maybe something that Locteeen are trying to emulate with what they do. But we haven't seen their comp. We're not quite there yet, and the map's not over yet. So even though Locteeen are on 12, we can't count Nova out yet, because 3 short rounds, and this could be going into overtime. So don't want to count your chickens before they hatch.
Absolutely. You know, there's always the potential for those 3 rounds. And I want to call, again, I think you need one more driving edge if you're Novax. Because it's not just been Manimal for the side of Locteeen, it's been the whole team. It's the way they're playing the game. They're playing it smarter. Most of the players are going even. You know, you're looking at the scoreboard and it's almost exactly how you want it. But if on the side of Novax, it's really just Nabo. He's doing most of the fragging. And their ideas, while not poor, are just not kind of there. They haven't been doing much besides holding or playing the retakes. I want to see them, you know, try and take space, try and utilize your Neon's power around the map, even though you're not on attack.
Yes, and we are seeing the in-game notification that Ian has reconnected. He has bought a gun and armor and util, I believe, but not sure if he's all set up for everything that he needs to be. So, should only be a couple more seconds, though. Looks like we're almost good. Maybe a issue with getting him back into the team's VC. So, almost done. Should only be a few more seconds, and then we will be back into the action.
Yeah. Coming in this next round, you do see Havoc with the Neon ult. That is something that he needs to try and get value out of. In previous rounds, you know, you kind of just seen him get shut down, popping at bad times, or, you know, Manimal just going off and flicking onto him.
Yeah, and especially with these retakes they've been playing, you can see that this ult could be really impactful here.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure that you're able to use it to fully combine with some of this other util on the retake to maximize your win percentage, like your chance of winning.
Alright, should be just about hopping back into this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Alright, well, getting back into it.
Here.
It's gonna be, I believe, no, full rifles to both sides. An attack side up on the side of Yellowfin. I think this might actually benefit the way Locteeen has been playing it, very slow, kind of waiting for Nova to sell their advantage.
And with this attack side at Smoke C Long, it looks like they're just going to try to get Yorfen inserted here on this angle towards C. Drone will come through and actually might spot out the op. I don't know if it was able to catch a glimpse of the op in his hands before he walked away. So the info may be gained. At least it did see the jet.
Oh, wow.
Ian
What a shot. Caught him while jump peeking.
Just caught jump peeking. Just really nice shot. And Havoc stuck on an island and just barely able to escape with his life. 1 HP. So a stray bullet will take him out. So now that Neon ult, it's a very run and gunny ult. It's not like a Jet or a Chamber ult where you can one tap with it. So it's going to be a lot harder to get big value out of this round because you're 1 HP. If you're running and you just take a bounty shot, you're dead. Sight hit coming in fast on C. Yorufan able to get one with the knives and just able to post up plat now with this op. So 5v3 retake. Now you have to play if you're Nova with these site positions for Locteeen. This is gonna be a pretty hard retake, especially with your duelist on 1 HP. Optic's gonna take an important fight here.
It's all but over.
You're not quite able to win it. Yoru also able to get one back, and they're just playing with their food. Classic kill comes out for the 4K to seal the map for Locteeen.
Alright, well that'll be the first map for the side of Locteeen. Really good showing from them. They kind of really showed off their style, that slow, methodical style that they've been playing.
Yeah, and that's how you want to win a map. If you're going for the 2-0, you want to go up on your opponent's map, pick dominantly, and just make a big presence. And we saw heroics from Nabo starting even on that pistol round with that ace, but just not quite enough to carry his team over the line. So you're gonna hope next map that he's not the only one that's stepping up for this squad, and that they're able to really, you know, have other people as well that are able to support him with the fragging power.
Look at the scoreboard. It was really the Omen story this map. Coleman also picking up a good amount of frags, good amount of value on the Cypher. We did see him overwhelmed a couple of those rounds on defense, but overall he was playing it very nicely. And especially his lyrics on the attack side were picture perfect. Always finding the big spot.
Yeah. So we're gonna head into split here.
Yeah, before that map though, short intermission.
Short intermission, yes.
All right, well, we're gonna be getting back into the games now. Heading into Split next. What do you think of this?
Oh, I think
no.
that with Locteeen winning Nova's map pick, that it's a pretty big advantage for them going into
Yeah,
the
I'm
map pick.
a little interested to see how Split's gonna be played from Locteeen. They had a very slow, methodical style on Haven. I'm not sure how well that's gonna transfer to Split. It definitely could do if it's executed correctly.
Yeah.
Coming into this, is this gonna be a no duelist comp from Locteeen? Oh, Waylay actually.
Yeah.
We could be seeing in the Waylay Teo breach, and Waylay is gonna be locked. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to play Split slow, you have to play it really slow. You have to really meticulously default out info. So seeing this Waylay with that dash either means we're going to be exploding it 10 seconds left in the round, or we're going to be exploding very early into the round. But depending, especially given how Locteeen were playing this Haven, I think that it's gonna be probably exploding with like 10-20 seconds left in the round, getting bombed on at the last second, especially on this attack side. I am curious to see how Coleman will be lurking this map, because we did see him kind of doing that a lot on attack on Haven, walking up B and garage and just holding flank. So I wonder how he'll be doing that on this map, but especially against a Cypher where you can't just wait for the Sage Wall to go down. But it'll be interesting to see. And it looks like we are going to get Nabo and Manimal both back on their Omen. So we might be in for some more Omen v Omen.
Yeah, Coleman and Optics also respectively on the Cyphers again. The comps are hardly changed, really. It's just a swap of the Duelist and one swap of the Initiator for the side of Novax. Or sorry, for the side of Locteeen. Interested to see how Rye is going to utilize that Teo. I don't know if we noticed it on the side of Haven, but he had tons of silver lineups. Those darts were always getting value. Really well hidden, but getting that info.
Agreed. And with this Waylay, I'm interested to see how they play into it. Because we've only really seen, I believe, at least in Americas, I'm not staying up super late to watch Pacific or China, and I know Waylay's been pretty big in China, but in Americas at least, we've only really seen Jogamo play the Waylay, and as interesting as it is for a team as strategically deep as G2, like, I'd imagine they have some stuff cooked up, but because Jogamo's just such a gifted player mechanically, he's just been making it look great. But I wonder how it's going to be played.
I think it's going to benefit Locteeen here. They're very execute heavy, and already we're going to see some fast-paced play. Fan already up.
And he will be way farther up than Toshi's ready for, so getting that kill. And also, 2 inserted mid here. Rye was also able to walk up behind that dash, so if they swing together on Nabo here, he was the hero of Haven, but maybe not able to take down both, although a bit of miscommunication lets Nabo get away with one, and Havoc will also find one. So, despite finding the opener, Locteeen are actually going to be down a player to hit B here.
Yeah, a really good response out there from Nabo and Havoc. Here we do see Locteeen gearing up for this hit. Ready for it, preparing.
Hachi's actually going to dodge that blind, Optics, sorry, going to dodge that blind. Down to 1 HP, so Yorfan will punish, gets that refract back online, so not placed in the greatest spot to teleport to, though.
Got 3.
Yorfan with the third,
ace, the ace. Maybe another pistol ace. It'll have to be if they want to win this round. Catches one on the ropes, knows where the last is, has that refract back again for the 3rd time this round. Not quite able to teleport back in time. Havoc with 3, farming up those showstopper orbs, able to put a stop to Yorufan, and not quite able to get the ace.
Havoc gonna shut him down. However, that is a lot of promise on the Waylay. I really like the play that Locteeen did up mid. Didn't work out, however. Novax had a great response on that pistol.
Yeah. Well, and I think that round loss probably comes down to miscommunication there, because that drone did see Nabo posted up in the heaven there, which means that they did both know that Nabo was there, just not quite really able to communicate that Nabo might swing onto Rai to get the kill, but this round looks like we're gonna see some more mid action.
Yeah, a similar play. I don't know how I feel about the repeat here. Fan gonna be up, but this time, bit of difference. They're all gonna be up, all ready for this. However, for the side of Novax, they are prepared. They are ready to fight the attack.
Looks like invent, but got a bunch of util dumped at their feet, so it looks like they might peel back and go back towards heaven here on B. 2 players invent, 2 players towards heaven, so not quite sure where they're going to go towards. Bomb gets dropped, but the trade is there from Manimal, and Coleman will actually find Havoc, so man advantage now for the side of Locteeen. Although Ian will manage to equalize. Down to 47 HP though with these close range classics. Gets one with the back turned. Will get figured out. So 2 versus 2. Both teams now do have these guns, but the health, because of the shields, is in favor of Nova right now.
30 seconds left.
If this Guardian is able to get some body shot tags, the round will be secure.
Last player standing.
There's one.
Shit-o. Oh wait, this is Yodafan. Been good, but no.
And our job gets a whole lot easier.
Yeah, Yodafan, not able to win that one out. A little tough. 5 and 2 on the scoreboard.
Both players pushing towards him.
Yeah, that's gonna be the bonus. Pretty simple. However, they did get 3 guns down. Definitely an upside for the side of Locteeen. Waylay working out so far. I want to see them kind of go back to their Haven style though. I think that'll really benefit them on the map of Split, especially with the Waylay pick, who's so good in those executes.
Yeah, and I wanna highlight here. This is a poor buy, but this Stinger and the Spectre against the Waylay dash could be, just because of how fast they fire, especially close ranges, could be deadly to walk into. However, Yorifan has already fired all of their util, so no more dashing, just gonna be taking gunfights. Coleman able to find one on the flank, maybe a second, but I don't know if he'll have the read that Toshi is this far up. Not sure quite how much it'll matter though, because kills are all going in favor of Locteeen so far. Although knife out, Coleman not able to realize what the shots.
Okay,
Able to
okay.
recover with the reswing. Gun goes through. And paranoia as well.
blind.
One
Toshi's
enemy
getting
remaining.
bullied by util, and Rai able to swing in and collect that kill. So only one lost. What can Optics get done with this Stinger?
Nerves definitely there. However, it is just Optics now, and you see Yodafan hard holding him. If I'm him, I'm just aiming to dot a spike, maybe catch an exit or 2.
Yes. If Yorifan was holding deeply, I believe, to try to get those orbs for that Waylay ult, but Optics just gonna die to bomb, not gonna hand over the ult orb. Cypher ult, not really worth any of these ults on the players that are still alive for Locteeen, so fair enough. Die to bomb. Get that round over with and get your guns on it back.
We are going to be going into the bye round. You know, definitely some hope for the side of Locteeen, get the score tied up. I think we're seeing a similar default that they've done almost every round. You just start to question, when is Novax going to begin to read this? You know, read how their Waylay's pushing up mid and the Teo's there. They haven't been doing a great job of getting this passive info. However, this pop-up mid is going to happen again. Free space. Oh, and crisp shot.
And it looked like maybe a bit of what Sentinels were running on Split with that tail missile combo, just catching on the Havoc. Well, I wonder, he got caught in vent. I wonder if he was maybe trying to satchel out of it and the missile just broke the satchel or something, but definitely gets caught out. Toshi gets baited in by the orb tap, and 2 players there to greet his swing. So B site completely open, although I'm not sure if Locteeen know. They are looking to rotate all the way back to A here, into the 2 players left on Nova. So we'll see if Nabo's able to pull anything crazy here, but walking into the 2 people left, I should imagine that this round will go in favor of
Nabo, however,
That's two.
it's
Needs
in.
the ace to clutch. Fake TP. And these 3 players, they know what they're up against. They're not going to have any of it.
They're,
All
they're
3
fucking
just
it.
leaving. Yeah. We know what this guy's capable of. We don't want to hand him kills. And so, they're going to hand Nabo a perfect opportunity to save this Phantom into the next round.
I'd be
And
interested
it
to see if he
looks like
plays
that's
for this.
exactly what he's intended to do.
When he knows they're on B, I think he might just be playing for this Phantom. You know, why not?
It's a
I
smart
know.
play, in my opinion. He's got 15k, but the rest of them are not crazy wealthy. So just vibing at this point, I guess. If you have the Spectrum Phantom at this point, you're just sitting here listening to music. But this one, you just have to watch the ball spin, I guess.
Yeah, just a bit of stalemate. Gonna be 2-2 up in the next round, however. I do like how Locteeen has been playing this mid exec. Again, gonna question again, when does Novax start to read this? When do we start to try and, you know, counter the mid exec? Counter those tail missiles on the drone?
Unforced error, dying to bomb there.
Ah.
We're early in this half, so neither of these teams have really built up an economy, so dying to bomb. It's not gonna break the bank, but that is definitely, like I said, unforced error. That's something you want to avoid. But with this eco from Nova right now, doesn't look like it'll matter too much. Then again, Bucky on split in the hands of a Raze. Real true VCT fans remember Wisey with the judge, which is just a
Oh
fast
no,
but-
I don't wanna remember that. Please
Well,
don't.
we're buying this game, so it's all good. And Convergence actually used into the heaven, not gonna catch on anyone. This swing out here from Toshi will get punished.
The way that you
So-
took was beautiful from
Yeah,
Yulufan.
Convergence doesn't land, but little Molly thing, though, I forgot what it's called. My apologies.
The great 2 picks from Havoc.
Havoc,
That's,
yeah, it'll
that's
get
huge.
2. So 2v3, Rolling Thunder available, but I don't think you invested here unless absolutely necessary. Spot Yorfan with the drone, but Yorfan will drop. I'm not sure if they caught onto that audio cue though. Missiles gonna get thrown out. Guns for both these players, so this is not gonna take the count out, especially when you're over.
Oh, wow.
Bit of body spray here from Nabo. Yeah, just
Nabo's feeling it.
with it. Yeah.
Last player
Doing all the wrong angles is Ian. Nabo able to trade. Throws a flash. Gonna get the info on Daka, but no time. Yeah, just. I think this might be the 3rd or the 4th retake we've seen from Nova where the kills go their way, but the time just doesn't. They have to speed these up a little bit. And the read on the flank from Yorufan was good, but I think you have to force that fight a little bit faster or go forward a bit faster from Heaven there because they're just stalling out for 20 seconds and you only get 45 seconds to defuse, so you gotta be a little bit faster on some of these rounds. Rolling Thunder now here for Locteeen, so they're probably gonna use that towards B. Armageddon to deny plant or to retake here.
Oh,
from,
I think here's where we're gonna see Locteen's signature style, this work up and then the fast hit. However,
Yeah.
I think Novax is gonna have to read into this. They've taken the space away.
and
the recall
both
not gonna
of
get
these
any.
sides- Oh, so the Rolling Thunder, yeah, misses. The stun was good, connected onto 1, but stun does not last nearly as long, so it's gonna wear off before it has any meaningful effect. So Yorfan is posted up on his box, which is a nice little obstacle, but the rest of these players, aside from Pullman, Big Cypher is gonna catch info that 3 of these players are just stacked up here, so unless this Armageddon's able to force a couple of these players out, which it will be able to, so ooh, but that's a huge good waylay util, able to stall and getting pushed, classic shots, doesn't matter, not able to kill, and so flawless with the Armageddon used is a huge ult to bait out, and just a beautiful bit of Waylay util to stall the entirety of the retake there from CT.
Yeah.
Through that one again.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Locteeen. You know, last map you had the Manimal MVP. This map, I'm looking straight towards Eurofan, going insane on the Waylay. And again, you can really see the playbook Locteeen has. These hits, the strats they're calling, it feels like it's been rehearsed, and it's been rehearsed to a perfection.
Back in a flash. Slow down.
The saturate music out of Eurofan has just been amazing. Not gonna opt to take that refract back into Ramen, so he is just gonna stay pushed up here. Now, Locteeen have been taking pretty fast mid with this Waylay almost every round, and I have yet to see it punished, so I wonder if that's an adjustment that Nova will try to make at some point during this half, just stopping him from being able to dash all the way up here.
Yeah, a bit of a slow round. I love this Eurofan insert. A lot of presence and a lot of danger for the side of Nova X. It's gonna be the work up to the A hit, and I like this play. Very slow. Toshiro and Nabo gonna be left to sight. Danger there, definitely. And there they go, starting to pop.
Being thrown out here, but Toshi with a flash.
Yes, here's the
but
first for
Nabo's
Nabo.
actually able to find one. A bit of a team line there.
30 seconds
Ryan
left.
Yoru able to get one each though. Nabo left alone on site. There's one person that'll soon be fighting all these players on Nabo. Able to get a second, so now only 3 against him on site. But he's gonna try to stall out as long as he can after the rest of these players. Fake TP. So now all 3 of the players for Locteeen stuck on site. But a bit of worse weaponry for these Nova players. So
Yeah, but look at who it is. It's Manimal and Eurofan on site.
Last player standing.
He gets 1, gets the second, and that's 3 for Eurofan on the rounds.
Havoc. He did a thing.
Did indeed do a thing.
Yeah. Thought he would have one, but unfortunately, his gun did not want to shoot straight. So
Yeah,
it's
you
all
gotta
good.
start to be worried if you're Nova X. You're 2-5 and a map down in the series. An adjustment needs to be made to try and recover this match now.
Yeah.
It's starting to slip away from them.
And we saw Optics go decently. I don't know if he went positive last match, but he was playing decent. But on defense side, it's Cypher on split. I think he needs to be flagging a little bit heavier.
Eurofan, another beautiful kill to mid. They've been doing this every round.
Ian with the util out in hand. Toshi able to equalize on Nako, grabbing an orb. Able to grab a second and that rolling thunder. So retake here has the opportunity to be, especially if they can find the right timing. Just looks away at the wrong moment, so Optics will fall. But we'll get inserted here. Not quite able to steady the aim in time. And actually, timing caught on this trip for Toshi. Coleman will have the foresight to jump check it though. So,
Uh-oh.
1 found. 2
Got the
more.
regen shield too.
Yep. Back
This
up
is definitely
to
doable.
bullets. If he can clear out 1 here.
Ah,
Not quite
Great play.
expecting off angle. Good crouch hold from Coleman on the stairs. They really offset the crosshair placement, but still,
Yeah, it's gonna go-
3 ult.
it's gonna go to the half for Locteeen.
At least even on attack side split, we can start to see why they chose this map. Since that pistol round, they've just looked dominant, and at 3 rounds, I think, for Locteeen, I wanted to call out, like, be careful of how the momentum on this map goes, especially if you're attack side split. You don't wanna let them win that, but they're gonna go at least even here. Momentum heavily in favor of Locteeen right now. And Manimal gonna catch Toshiro on a swing out of B. Bit of over-aggression.
Yeah, here again comes the mid-exec. It's been great.
There's
There's the
that-
Waylay.
Yeah, there's the punish I was talking about, hoping I would see, but shots not quite landing
That's the
For
advantage of the way,
Havoc.
like, if that exec doesn't go well, you can just get out. It's something, to me personally, I didn't even consider. I thought, oh, one day they're gonna get countered, but no. Yoda fan is able to just exit.
Well, 3 bullets fired from Yorufan onto him, so I know at least he had time to pull that gun out, so it wasn't an instant TP back.
No, definitely not. Man,
Havoc.
we're gonna find a crisp shot.
And able to ult back to site, regroup with the team, not gonna offer up a free 1v1. Coleman will also find Ian, so 2v5 now, no rolling thunder.
Novax are
And
just being picked to pieces.
yeah, you gotta save here, hit by the paranoia as well. You're stuck, you're making noise, they know where you are, and if you're locked in here, 6 rounds deep, healthy economy, you might want to start thinking about chasing some of these players. I'd give it maybe 10-20 more seconds, but eventually, I'd imagine, you go hunt for some of these guns, because we already saw them take an eco round last round, and with only 2 players living, if you can take away these guns, they're going to be forced back onto that eco, which we have not seen them win yet, so could be a way to further disadvantage that Locteeen have already heavily garnered so far in this map. Mabo able to find the wall. Team of Locteeen will converge on him in spawn. So
Yeah, just gonna take away that flawless, I guess.
yeah, Optics, last one surviving, the only one surviving for side of Nova.
Yeah, another great attack round. They're taking us to aesthetic, they're doing the strats, and they're doing them well. Timeout, much needed. You need to figure out how to counter these strats. Because at this point, you've seen this mid strat multiple times. You need to figure out a way to kind of stop it. They're getting the space, or at least applying pressure there very consistently, and it's been a real thorn in the side of Novax.
Yeah, and as I was pointing out last round, Havoc did actually have the chance to kill him, because as I was trying to point out, that refract was not instantaneous, meaning he did take this fight a little bit in mid, and just neither of them able to come up with the kill, and eventually Yorufan just calling it quits, TPing out. But if you have a Judge or a Bucky in that corner, that's a much easier punish, I think, than such a fast-moving headshot with a Vandal that you would have to hit. So I wonder if a shotgun or a Stinger or some other type of close range, not exactly instant kill, but quick time to kill weaponry is kind of the plan here, because I haven't seen much else that will work against Yorufan, especially with his ability to just TP out of a situation he doesn't like.
Yeah. Alright, coming to this next one. Well, you know, you do expect the adjustment from inside Novax. You have to expect the same thing from Locteeen. They just got a minute to think of even more. What else can we pull from the strat book? What else can we come up with on the spot? I am interested to see if they're going to take some more creative approaches to the rounds.
Force buy here. Oh, very big mid push. Big force buy though from Nova. And there's Yorufan's refract being used to get that info. 2 players stacked up towards mid, pushed pretty deep. But with that pick onto Optics, the A site is open for business, and it's just gonna be a foot race who can make it there first. Now, Coleman already does have control of the site, but if these players from Heaven are able to cut this rotate off while they're trying to make it onto the site, this could be a round for kill from Havoc.
Yeah, man, fought hard there. It's just Ian alone on site here. He's gonna be caught alone. Free site side of Locteeen.
Seems to be somewhat aware that Coleman could be in this corner, although I may just be misreading him just holding the swing.
No, I think he is just holding that swing.
Yeah, okay. Well, there is the breach ult for the side of Novax, so will be used. I will not connect onto Coleman. Coleman just able to dodge. Rye able to get one. Breach ult's actually traded back and forth, but the kills go in favor of...
Gets 1, gets 2.
Gets 2, actually, that's huge. Bomb not quite planted for Rye, but the missiles are going to make a huge difference. If he has it, he's going to die to the missiles. No time left, so it's the only option, but beautifully played time, and Coleman actually not getting connected by Toshi's Rolling Thunder, so just able to tuck in that corner for much longer than he should have been able to without getting cleared. Just able to wait for the retake to come through and pick them off, shoot them in the back of the head.
You gotta start worrying for the side of Novax. I mean, you're down 2-8, and you're going to this round on an eco. You've got 4 sheriffs and maybe a rifle from Optics. Speaking of Optics, he's not been finding a lot of value this map. 1 and 8 on the Cypher. Has not been catching very many good lurks, or even defense kills at all.
Yeah,
Rayleigh all 3 top.
there's that convergence used again. Counter showstopper. So, kills traded. I almost expected Yorfen to like preemptively assume the rocket was coming at him and TP out, but he will eat it. So, Ian and Yorfen dead. 4v4. Guns mid, not able to be retrieved, so they will still have 3 Deagles in his Guardian, but they actually seem quite aware that Itachi has gone this far up. And actually Coleman able to get picked off there by Havoc, so with that kill, that's going to be a gun upgraded for Havoc most likely, and also a bit of info garnered, especially depending on what Toshi sees here. Believe he already took a fight.
I don't think he's ready for them to be down here.
No. Oh,
no, he's gonna find one regardless.
Flick
What?
Is good. And at least one of them hit by that stun. I believe Toshi. Manimal. Low enough that he'll be 1 HP to a Deagle. Yeah, Nabo kills him. So 1v3 now. And the weaponry is not that much better because they have been able to pick up these guns. Zaka not reading Nabo's TP. Nabo able to pick up the second on the round. And twist of events leading to an eco round being taken. So if you're Havoc here, you're actually pretty happy with that old investment, because at first I was almost curious why you would invest a showstopper on an eco round, but it helped them win the round, so no complaints.
Absolutely, and those are just some sheriff shots that they should not be getting. Pulling away an amazing round there.
Yes, beautiful shot from Toshi as they were pushing down onto that B site. Well, 3-8. So 4 rounds here available for Nova if they can win this one. Full buy from both sides.
Yeah.
Another fast play. This time the shots land for Havoc. So Yorfen finally punished for his crimes.
For crimes.
Bro, it's a crime to dash up mid every round to get one. Like let's be real. So, Coleman dinked. If he can find one, this Cypher could have huge value, but he is 1 HP, so it doesn't look like he's gonna really try to take this fight until his team groups up here. In this 4v5. No dive for a Waylay here, because Waylay is dead, so the util here is gonna have to be good, but it is comboed beautifully. And Ian's
the response is quick.
The response is quick. Daka able to equalize. Able to get a third too, so Daka is getting the kills that they need.
Could be looking for an ace in the rounds.
Could be, yeah. If they rotate here, if Locteeen choose to rotate, which it looks like they will, this Neural Theft is available for Optics.
It's gonna be too little too late though.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think they probably will have the read by now that the rotates are coming through, or at least that it's a possibility. But this ult is gonna give them good info on possible positionings. Although these trips might stall a decent amount for this rotate to come through. Gonna break the first, maybe not quite expecting the second.
Yeah, there's no threat behind the trips though. Players are just not here yet.
Both broken. Stun comes through. Time is low, so stall here is big, but the fight is forced from Toshi. Not quite, I think, prepared to take that fight. Trying to rush it for the bomb's sake. So 1v2, high-low setup, and Optics gonna have to play like he was on Prime Optic if he wants to win this clutch.
Yeah, the high-low setup. Cool. You have to really hard it. These really quick peeks. Tap.
He knows they're both there. He knows where they both are. But too difficult to clear out. And with time low anyway.
Switching sides.
He will lose the round. So 9-3. If you're the superstitious type, then you gotta hope.
There is hope yet.
Yeah. It's hopium. Gotta maybe pull out some pixie dust. Hope a shooting star comes floating by if you're on Nova here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not been the greatest, but I mean this is definitely still a comebackable half for Novax. We saw them definitely do a bit better on their attack side, at least in Haven. You know, still not great, but
Yeah.
not bad.
Well, they'll be able to play their pacing now. On attack.
Oh no. I think I know exactly what's about to happen. Nope, wait, I'm actually wrong. I thought they were about to go for another mid exec on the defense this time.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, on the attack half, Locteeen were able to use that waylay to kind of just take mid really fast every round. Now that Nova are on the attack, they'll be able to play and pace it a bit more to their speed instead of having to play around that waylay. This lurk will get one by Optics. So doubling up those kills. Able to be a thorn in the side. Daka, they're unsure where Optics went, so a timing here could be everything for Optics. If he's able to walk up pretty soon, might be able to find one or even two. Nabo looks to want to take this fight towards heaven and will be snappy on the Daka. So a 4v3 retake now. Optics! Rope accuracy gets the better of him. And Nabo able to trade. So fake TP from Nabo. So Yorufan and Manimal in the 2v4. Manimal able to get one.
Remaining.
1 HP on him, and Ian just wins the run and gun spray battle. So
Yeah,
good pistol round. If you're a 9-3 curse believer, that is the start you want. So
yeah, bad omens coming out here. Although it is
I
just a
actually think
pistol.
both omens have been playing pretty good this game, but
Okay. Now I think that they might have the read on this round. It's a 4-stack on A. Cypher playing deep, probably gonna be playing for the retake, and I think they might just know exactly where the side of X is heading. This could definitely be bad, especially with the Rayleigh on the Bucky.
yeah, we might see some Razor Jet antics here with the double dash, pop a Bucky. Has activated the refract, which has run out. No dash available actually, so he's just gonna be stuck. Just your average Joe now with this Bucky, no detail to his name. So unless Toshi gets a bit too curious here, Bucky's not gonna find that much value.
And they can't really know.
Beautiful timing by Nabo to dip back into that smoke. Just a bit of the head showing, but Toshi not quite able to capitalize. Nabo gets right-clicked. So
Yeah, this is
4
slowly
members
getting
now
closer.
pushing into Toshi. Havoc able to get 2. Coleman will get 1, not the second though. He ain't good for the second. And
Oh wow!
Havoc with a
That's
collat to seal the round.
no, that was not a collab. That was a tap.
Oh, it looked like one of those times where you like right-click the bulldog and it just like sprays onto both of them.
No, that was actually just a bit of a tap. Really great mechanics off in there. However,
Good shots, good shots.
it's a pretty good eco for the side of Locteeen. You got 3 guns down there. We're gonna be heading into a short P10. More lag out from Ian, unfortunately. Gonna have to close all those Chrome tabs apparently.
So 5-9. Maybe it's 4 rounds away for Locteeen here. So if you lose this round, it's not the worst. You'll get the guns back up. But it does look like Nova are actually gonna force into this. All except Navo rebuying. It's gonna put Ian pretty low on money. And the other Toshi and Optics are, I'm not quite able to judge just off that if they're gonna be able to buy next, but it seems like they'll probably be able to buy light armor. So as we get into this round, they have to make this a clean round win with these forces though. Well, the same could be said for both sides. TP out from Manimal just gets immediately punished. Havoc has been going off this attack half. And Ian will also get one back. So the picks are going inside of Locteeen. And Havoc's gonna have a great time on the rye here.
Last player standing.
Navo also able to get one. Here's the reload. And Havoc has to
Out of charges.
back up and wait for his team. He's gonna be taking some peeks, but should wait out here. Daka might have gotten the timing, but Navo's gonna see him through the smoke. So shut down.
That's a bad round. That's not one you want to lose out from Locteeen.
Yeah.
The momentum definitely in the way of Novax now, and for those 90 Curse Believers, it's becoming more and more real by the rounds.
Big bonus to win here. So with that, means that an eco round's gonna have to come out. Toshi even opting for the Odin. So really big gun differential here. So if I'm honestly surprised we're not actually seeing Yorfen opt for that Bucky again. But the big A fight here actually will punish Locteeen this time. There's that waylay dash, but not actually going to be contested as Optics is just going to fall back here. And so, see this trip? I'm going to break the trip with the classic, not trying to reveal the Odin. Corner is cleared, but actually the Sheriff is good. And Optics now down to 1 health. 1 HP to any of these deagles. So, and gets caught looking at the wrong time. So 2v5 now to convert.
Diesel is perfect.
And with the Odin, okay. Navo able to get 1. Down to 1 HP. So he needs a 1v4. Shots are clean, but Coleman is there with 3 on the round to shut it down and get them their 10.
Yeah. Amazing 30 there. Absolutely necessary after the first round. You know, kind of just preventing them from getting up to that 7 scoreline for free. Yeah, not letting it get too close there.
With that, however, that is Nova's first defense round, and I don't know if they're gonna continue. Not this round, at least. Waylay's a little too far, but the thing that won them that round there was not only did Coleman have some nice deagle shots, but that aggressive play main really opened up that round for them. And so I wonder if, because we're not getting such aggression with such like early picks, I wonder if that means that we're not actually gonna see like a round win here, basically. Because unless Locteeen here are able to get an opening kill, which they haven't been able to get outside of that round.
Yeah, the retakes have been good, but not good enough so far in this half.
Well, and those first bloods can mean everything. 5v5 retake now, so every player alive for both teams. The showstopper here could be the difference maker. And it will get popped,
they're so blind.
Fast, and all of them just run down where the util comes in. 1v5 now for Nabo. We've seen him be good, but I don't know if he's going to be quite good enough for this, and just not able to do so.
Picture perfect.
Talk about retakes being good, but not quite good enough, and immediately it's like they're in this call with us.
Yeah, almost coming out of spite. The blinds were perfect there. I mean, you saw Yorufan go in, and they were just all blinded by that omen. A perfect blind, as well as the breach. Tail missiles there. I mean, that was just pristine.
Yeah. Not much to be done there if you're Nova, just stuck.
Absolutely not. And the Raze ult at that expended too.
Yeah, very unfortunate because he popped it and tried to jump peek throw it.
Oh wow.
God, 1 tap. So the trip will allow some spam to come through. Bit of spam damage. But another 5v5 retake. More ults this time. Yes. Tail here. And if you drop that in heaven at the right angle, that can, or even CT, that can push a lot of these players.
I just don't know how much impact it's going to be getting, depending on where you throw it in heaven. Because, you know, you're going to be pushing these players out, but they're already going out.
Oh!
They're moving with their tail.
Able to get 2 there, actually, is Havoc. Looked like he only got the 1. And Toshi left alone on site to die. That breach ult's going to come out, but it's not going to be able to mess up that tail targeting system well enough. And the missiles are going to come out, buying enough time to swing. But they're both blind. The stun comes
get
through.
there?
Will he have enough time to get there? I don't think he has it. It's gonna come down to the second.
Oh my god!
Barely enough time bought with the stun. Beautiful Teo util there from
0.0
Ian.
0.06 seconds, just the stun making the difference. That is absurd.
Just that ring bursting just before he was able to get on. Stun made it hard to tell, but just barely not enough time. And that is a backbreaker. But still able to force into this round are Locteeen. So if they lose this though, I believe they are gonna have to go on an eco. So this is a big swing round. Even though it looks like Nova.
And just the exit, beautiful.
Yeah. TP's out. And actually, big damage onto Daka though, with the spray. So 1 HP. If they drop missiles into vents, he's gonna be dead. And he has to back up to respect almost any missile thrown at him. The Waylay dash thrown into the wall to escape. He's having players. And Rai
not ready
caught not
I know
quite ready for it.
exactly
Yeah,
where
exactly,
you
with the
are.
missiles out. Manimal will be detected and closed in on by 3.
Last player standing.
Daka picked off, and it's looking like it's gonna be a flawless. Big kills out from Havoc, and even though damage done onto quite a few of these players, all eaten and battered, doesn't matter if you can't finish the kill. So the eco, not great. They might be able to force back into this round, but Locteeen are not gonna be able to buy consistently if they do. So it looks like they're going to go for a bit of a half buy. Some players can't afford the rifles, so they will opt into those. But others, we see Eurofan stuck on this Deagle. Actually going to get the Phantom dropped to him. Feeding your Duelist. But Daka will be the only one who can't buy next round if they lose. So
Your friend has had lots of impact. Oh, I think we're about to see a push out here.
big stun actually connecting onto Daka with that aftershock. Will be forced back to respect it, and
Beautiful
Eurofan
kill.
already making that Phantom work.
Yeah, absolutely necessary pick, especially when you're on this eco to get that first one.
Yeah.
Looks like
Gonna spot a couple of these players actually. So maybe they're gonna decide that A might be the play, because the tail drone saw at least 2. I don't know if the range on the vision was large enough to spot Eurofan still tucked up towards heaven, but because he did kill Havoc earlier in the round, they should know that at least 3 are stacked towards this B site. So
yes, it's a very slow take here. They're just trying to work up, and I think for the side of Locteeen, they're very prepared for this.
yeah, not budging an inch. You have this beautiful cam right now from Coleman that's just spotting so much info on A that they're just not up. So, because 30 seconds left, you don't see them up A. I think that Locteeen are just going to get ready to tuck down and fight for this site because they know it's coming.
Yeah,
Hail Missile's able to isolate Ian, and that Saturate able to stall for time. So, unless they try to Yoru back, or Omenal, excuse me, back into Coleman here.
I think this round is all but over. There's just no time.
I agree, yeah.
Novax really just tried to take a piece out of Locteen's book there. You know, the pause and the hit, and it wasn't the same. Their util quality was not the same. They didn't have anything clear.
Yeah, bomb was dropped to Nabo, but does not look like the ult will be used.
Oh,
and well,
goofy. What a silly.
just because the round's over doesn't mean you can walk knife out. But not gonna matter too much because the players for Nova are still gonna be able to buy up into this one. So,
Oh, I think I know what call me crazy, call me a theory crafter, but I think we're about to see a really nice Waylay Teo combo.
I'm seeing
If you
some
look at the
pings.
octagon, I mean.
I'm seeing some pings on the map out of Nova here. Sorry. So
Doing a
I think
thing.
they might be aware of this, but it does look like that ults are going to be used mid. Whether
ready.
or not we're going to get caught by it is a different story. I'm watching to see, but here's the Waylay ults being prepped. KO missiles are getting thrown. The showstopper there will connect, and so will the rifle. Able to get 2 before Manimal trades out. So no tail, no duelist for both
Oh,
sides.
what a timing! Did you just see that? The breach is in mid, barely not crossing each other's paths. Looking to split down onto him. Oh my god!
What is that? Shades of Asuna. And they know where Nabo is now because of that blind. Although Coleman not hearing this ult. They will hear the smoke though and the bomb go down. Daka on 1 HP.
The sniper is still on the side as well. It's so typical for Nabo. However, he's been the impact player for this team.
Has carried the team on his back thus far. But the
That's
pressure,
gonna be it.
a little bit too much. The series 2-0 for Locteeen.
2-0 for Locteeen, an amazing win, and that's gonna advance them straight into the upper finals of the bracket.
Yeah.
Looking to contend for playoffs, and I really love their style. They look very well drilled on both these maps. Definitely a fear playing against them if you're any other team in this group right now.
Yeah. You have to be cautious of a team like that where their strength comes not in one or two high fragging individuals like it did on Haven, but not
The team,
even when their team is all kind of fragging middle of the pack, like we can see. Just able to rely on that strategy and intuition and reads to win, not necessarily needing one person to drop 30 every game, which is
Yeah, beautifully
a
true.
sign of a really good team.
Absolutely, and it does make you fear if you're another team. What am I going to be facing if these players are popping off?
Exactly. So I'm looking at the bracket, and it looks like they will play the winner of AT Calm and AER is the other Group B match. So
Gotta be excited for that match. Determines who's going to be facing this team.
Yeah. So that will be tomorrow, and it will determine who plays Locteeen and who plays Novax. And if you're Novax here, it's a tough loss, but honestly, a lot of the issues we saw are very easy to VOD review and just go back over. So if they're dedicated, it won't be very hard for them to just go back and like watch it back, because they do have some players who were fragging out, and if you can combine
Absolutely.
that fragging power with the strategy that we saw out of Locteeen that series, you can create a team that could go on a lower bracket run here in Group B to make it to playoffs. And I wouldn't count either of these teams out of playoffs yet, because they both did look pretty good this series. So hopefully we
Completely.
get
Well,
to see more of both of them.
That's going to be it for this series. I hope you guys had a fun time watching this game with us. That's going to be a Locteern win. And I am excited to see this team going forward. I hope the whole chat is. Anyway, that'll be all for this stream. And we'll see you guys next one.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.